What is good YouTube, Warstu here with a video on the Zack Snyder Justice League, formerly known as the Release the Snyder Cut. So over the festive period, Zack Snyder himself has given Justice League fans a Christmas present. He's released so many more images on his verified official Vero account. So if you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any videos. At the 100,000 subscriber mark, it will be giving away a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X or a Switch. All you got to do is subscribe to this channel and let me know what are you most looking forward to in 2020. But just a little reminder is I cannot give that gift away until we hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. So Zack Snyder has been absolutely everywhere over the last couple of days, answering questions on Veros. Then certain websites have been making them into fully blown articles, which is interesting. It makes it easy for me. So let's break down. Does the Snyder Cut still exist? The answer is yes, but I'm seeing a lot of websites misconstrue what he actually said, and they don't really understand the validity of what he actually said. So let's break it down properly for you guys. So this article is titled this: Justice League Zack Snyder gives a frustrating answer on cut's completeness. No, it's not really. It just depends how you word and how you take what he says. So a question on Vero's asked: people still argue on Twitter over the CGI on the Zack's Justice League. Can't stand it, boss, to settle it. If you can answer this, is the film 100% done? CGI plus score, thank you. Zack Snyder replied, film is not 100% done. But it is. Just hear with me and listen to it. Film is not 100% done. Still some stuff I want to do, as with every film I've made. Not sure what difference it makes as to the finished level of the film. Now, people are saying the Snyder Cut doesn't exist, the creative control is done. No, the film is 100% done. He says it's done, you know? He says it's 100% done, but I still want to do some other things. You've got to understand, this is a movie that he didn't even really make properly because the Sweden factor, Joss Whedon took over, they reshot the whole thing. So yes, the movie is 100% done, but what he's saying is it the 100% complete story that he wants to drop? No. So that's why he said it's not 100% done to the level that he's done it at. You just got to look at his precedents. You just got to look at the other movie he's made, 300, Watchmen, so many other movies. He's got his own production company, but obviously Warner Bros. Owns the movie. So could he release it? Yes. It's in the final stages, you know. It is complete to a certain degree. Now, what is interesting is he also said that he has not watched what they released because he wouldn't like it. He said from some people who have seen the Snyder Cut and from some people who have seen the theatrical cut, he was told never ever to watch this again. So I'm seeing this absolutely everywhere. The man has his own production company, knows multiple independent visual effects companies, large and small. He's worked in the industry for such a long time. He was one of the pinnacle reasons that Wonder Woman 1 did so well. Him and his wife, Deborah Snyder, both worked on it. Now, you can just see with the images he's released, Kal-El talking to Arthur Curry. You know, there's an image with Flash next to the Superman suit. I don't really know why people don't actually believe that it's real. It's just how finished is it? Is it 100% polished? Is it the version that Zack Snyder wants to release? Maybe not. Maybe it isn't that. So it is interesting when I see big people on Twitter putting up polls. Question of the day: if you're a Release the Snyder Cut fan, do you believe it's real? I mean, why wouldn't you? Everyone wants to see whatever it is because it can't be any worse than what they released. It wasn't even the official movie. You've got Ben Affleck, you've got Gal Gadot, you've got Ray Fisher, you've got Jason Momoa. You've got everyone saying release the Snyder Cut. That is now known as Release. The Snyder Cut is now known as Zack's Justice League. So it is interesting. It is coming out. It definitely is coming out. There's so many images of Release the Snyder Cut. I'm going to put some images over the top of this video when I overlay the image. You can see it's just a complete different movie. And people saying, does it exist? I mean, there's so many different images. Iris West and the Flash. We never even got to meet Iris. I mean, that is pretty ludicrous that having Iris West without the Flash. It is pretty ludicrous. Multiple different images of Kal-El, multiple different images of Superman, Ray Fisher, Cyborg, Darkseid. We know Darkseid was meant to be in this movie. So many different things happen. I honestly can't comprehend why a lot of you guys online seem to think that Release the Snyder Cut isn't true. It is so freaking popular. Everyone wants to see it. It is really interesting to me. There's so many different images that Zack keeps releasing on his Vero account. Yet for some reason, a lot of people keep saying it's fake. It's not. It really isn't fake. I mean, you can't make these pictures up. He's released so many images over the last few days, just over the festive period. No one should question where it is. I mean, are we going to see it? I don't really know. I don't really think we will see it. But as a Snyder fan, as a Justice League fan, as a fan of Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel, we need to see it. Whether or not when Man of Steel 2 comes out with Henry Cavill, whether or not it follows the same kind of gratification, the same kind of tone as BVS or everything like that, it's not really relevant. But it is so interesting how Zack hasn't even seen the theatrical cut because it's such a mess. And also he was asked, is there any more nightmare scenes in the actual real Justice League, the Zack Snyder Justice League? And what is Zack said? Yes. So the famous scene when Flash comes along and says that Lois is the key. There's so many unanswered questions because so much was cut out that it's a frustration for me and a lot of other Justice League fans. I've been covering this movie for 3 years, nearly the whole duration of my channel. Now, I haven't really covered it. I mean, I didn't cover it for over a year, but recently I've been covering this every week, it seems like. It is just interesting, and Zack Snyder himself is hinting that his variation would have been R-rated. He had plans to kill Batman. You know, we've seen the storyboard. We've seen the expo he did when he spoke about it. We always had the plan. We would see that in the final chapter. Batman was going to die in this trilogy. It is very interesting that people are being so cynical, which is fair enough. If you want to be cynical, that's up to you. But there's so much evidence. There's so many pictures. He speaks about it publicly. Obviously, he doesn't own the movie. It's owned by Warner Bros. So technically, he can't release it. But it comes to a point where he's just going to drop it and take the consequences. It's so obvious that it will be dropped. He's revealed so many new images, even the Flash. The Flash doesn't really exist anymore because there is no Flash movie. It is just interesting. There's so much going on now to the fact where Zack Snyder is now calling it Zack Snyder's Justice League. Rather than calling it Release the Snyder Cut, it's Zack Snyder Justice League. He started a campaign where you can actually buy a new Justice League t-shirt and a new Justice League hoodie, which directly goes back to charity, which is a pretty cool thing to do. I will leave the link down below, and hopefully it's not sold out. The website did literally crash. So the fact that Zack Snyder on the 22nd of December revealed a deleted Henry Cavill moment, you know, where Flash is sitting down on the table, the ship can feel his presence. I mean, there's so much that's come out, and you have these people saying it doesn't exist. How can it not exist when there's hundreds of pictures that keep coming out? I just find it very interesting that there's a lot of people on Reddit and Twitter saying it's not real, it's not real. Well, how can it not be real? Because we know it's real, we've seen it. You can see the images. It just doesn't make any sense. So as we know, that's it for this segment. So we know Robert Pattinson is starting to shoot the Batman movie next month in England, in London. We're just outside of London. Technically, I suppose it's Bedford. But what is interesting is Robert Pattinson is currently in the UK preparing for the movie. Now, what is interesting is, as you know, if you want to be an extra in any movie, you need to sign up to be an extra in a movie. So there is some reporting details for a funeral-based scene where they need 500 extras. Now, the location is just outside Bedfordshire, so this could be the famous death scene. You know, it could just be the Martha and obviously Thomas Wayne funeral scene, because as we know, this is meant to be a trilogy, so maybe it's going to start from that point of view, or maybe it could be something else. I'm just mentioning this as a side note, because if you do live in the UK, there's a Twitter handle called @UniExtras, and you can literally apply to be an extra in this huge funeral scene. In February, they're looking for 18 to 7-year-olds from all backgrounds with one common thing, a black suit. So it's got to be some kind of funeral scene that they are teeing up. Now, what is interesting is the first look as the Robert Pattinson Batman will be coming up shortly. It's got to come up because if they are shooting out in the open like this, they don't want it to leak. Studios generally like to show the suits themselves. They don't want the Shazam thing to come out when everyone said the Shazam suit looked ridiculous and then end up kind of still looking ridiculous, even though that movie was very good. So that is an update we've got about a potential Batman location, and it is real because it says, it doesn't specifically say they are shooting for that. I mean, it does say this, but it's more talking that they've found out what it would be. So the plot details are under wraps, even though the Matt Reeves movie is most likely going to have a lot of the Rogue Gallery villains, such as Catwoman, the Penguin, the Riddler, etc. Not everything's being confirmed, which I prefer. It does come out June the 25th, 2021. So we know they are starting to shoot next month. So like always, guys, let me know. Do you believe the Snyder Cut does exist? And do you believe that you would watch it? So it is coming, guys. I'm going to keep saying that the Snyder Cut is coming. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.